All right, Buffs Nation, what's going on, everybody? College football fans, everybody from Rawhide's channel, everybody from my channel. Hope you guys are having a great day. It's the new year. Y'all better be off to a great start for 2024. And I mean, what better way to kick it off than getting back with my good friend Rawhide Media. How are you doing today, Rawhide?
Bro, I'm doing pretty good today, man. Feeling a little bit better. Glad to be on with you, man. We hadn't been on in a minute. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna send you an apology card. I don't know what I'd be apologizing for. I had heard, you know what I'm saying, but I saw you was on vacation, so how was it?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, it was a busy couple weeks. I mean, it was in San Antonio, Asheville, Houston, then back to San Antonio, now back here in Colorado. So, yeah, man, it feels good. Glad you had a good time in Vegas. Um but I mean, hopefully we can at least make the Las Vegas Bowl or something next year so we can go
You got that
gambling together, play the craps table a little bit,
right.
put some sports bets in. And it's the city that never sleeps, man.
You're right about that. You are right about that. But yeah, hopefully we can make some kind of bowl game or whatever the case may be. But I guess our first official game meetup gonna be in Orlando, right?
Dude, that's what we're doing. Are you down to go to like Universal Studios, go on a roller coaster? Are you a roller coaster kind of guy? I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I can do that. I can do that. I can do that for sure.
I'm terrified of heights, but I'll do it. I like to feel alive. But that's going to be fun, man. That's going to be fun. And y'all let us know in the comments if you're planning on going to that UCF game. But let's get into it, man. It's been a little bit kind of weird. Slow news week so far
Mhm.
for Colorado, but we haven't connected in a while, which means we got to talk about um, what's going on with Charles Kelly going out to Auburn, his alma mater. I believe he's taking a position coach job there. I'm not sure if he's going to be making more or less at Auburn. Maybe but I want to hear from you first, Rawhide. What were your initial reactions to this news? Because I mean, we've been part of the Charles Kelly faithful, the
I know.
defenders of
I
Charles
know.
Kelly. So what was your
I
reaction to all this?
know. When I first heard about it, I was disappointed. I didn't want to lose Charles Kelly, and I guess I'm gonna die on this hill. Yeah, I didn't want to lose Charles Kelly. Um, I wanted to see the team with another year under his tutelage. I wanted to see those guys playing faster. You know what I'm saying? Playing without thinking. I wanted that continuity to be brought back over into the 2024 season. I didn't want to see a new OC and a new DC, but that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it ain't like they had, bro. I mean, the defense was bad. I mean, we can be honest about that, but I thought that there was some improvement, and I don't believe that it was always about the coaching itself. I thought uh, there was some player issue also, but I just wanted to see him one more time, bro. I just want to see him one more year in the same system. I want to see what that looked like.
I feel you. I feel the exact same way. Of course, T. Nicole has made her opinion loud. Every video I've done on Charles Kelly over the last few days, and she's absolutely right. We were 127th out of 130th. So, I mean, can it get any worse? I mean, I guess it can. But if we can just I just feel like if we can get to average in some of these areas that we were so bad in last year, average defense, average
Mm-hmm.
offensive line, the fact we
Mm-hmm.
got 4 wins right now, we're going to be able to stack a whole bunch on top of that if we don't have any glaring holes. And I think we got some better players. Now, um, I led with this on my video title. I'm not sure what you used with yours, but it's been talked about from Carl Reed from 24/7 about how, hey, the guy that Coach Prime already has filled in this DC position. I mean, it continues to bolster Colorado as an NFL type program. So, I'm guessing it's somebody like Dennis Thurman or Ken Norton Jr. or Mike Zimmer, somebody like that has deep NFL ties. Before we dive into breaking down some of these candidates, who this DC might be, What are your thoughts on being labeled as an NFL type program? What does that mean to you? What do you think it means to Coach Prime and Rick George?
Now I could be totally wrong on this. I'm thinking that from a structural wise, is that very similar to how the NFL does it. You know what I'm saying? Practicing, kind of get these guys. I would say, I guess it'd be kind of what IMG does for high school guys getting ready for college, but
Hmm.
just from an NFL standpoint, uh, I maybe a lot of, and I'm speculating. Obviously, I'm speculating, and
Yeah.
maybe more player motivated than saying coaches pushing them. You know what I mean? Give them that leeway. NFL guys, they know they got to, they have to have a particular type of responsibility and get their studying done on their own time. People ain't gonna be pushing the back all the time trying to get you to get right. I don't know. Now hold on, I don't know. I'm just assuming that's when I hear NFL style. That's what I hear. You see what I'm saying? And I guess it sums it up right there. It's more player led because you hear them talk about that a lot. I'm looking for some leaders. I'm looking for some leaders. Why aren't you stepping up? You know what I'm saying? Why I got to say things? Why y'all not saying anything? So I'm assuming that's what he's talking about. And again, I could be totally be wrong. I have my questions about it too. What do you think about it?
Man, I think it's an interesting approach. I think it's different with kind of how this thing looks to be shaking out. It's a little bit different than how college programs have rebuilt themselves from ground zero. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we're probably going to have, it's looking like it is Pat Shermer. I've had kind of different opinions on that over the last couple months or so. I don't think it's a home run hire. I feel like it's a safe hire, though. We're not
Mm-hmm.
going to get to remember the Titans playbook or, something like that. We're not going to
Mm-hmm.
be out schemed, I don't think. I think Pat
Mm-hmm.
Shermer's going to do a fine job at that. We at least have a
Mm-hmm.
baseline. The
Mm-hmm.
floor to competency is higher. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
feel about it. And if we have somebody like Zimmer, Thurman, whoever, somebody running this with an NFL style program type of mentality and feel, hopefully that means, again, I like what you said about it being player led, that we have guys that are really leading from the standard. I mean, when you go back and look at like those documentaries on like the Miami teams, that ESPN did. Those were such player led locker rooms, and like all those guys were going to the NFL, especially. Well, I don't know. I guess Dorsey went there, but yeah, like the linebackers, the defensive players. I mean, everybody in the secondary, the wide receivers, the tight ends, all the tight ends were going pro,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very locker room led. The Florida Gators team, I watched that one on the Swamp. It was the same
Mm-hmm.
thing. They had a bunch of NFL guys that are leading it. I think we did lack leadership this past year. I think that's totally
Mm-hmm.
a valid criticism, and I would hope to see having more leaders step up. I think that also is easier to get when you got players in there that like know that they belong. I think we're
Mm-hmm.
bringing in more players that know that they belong and know that they have NFL type future. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but in terms of the accountability, I'm wondering if it's going to continue to be kind of a no nonsense type of culture where you're expected to come in here and do your job. You're not going to be babied. I think that has to do also with how it seems that they're structuring NIL and paying players and stuff like that on this team. It's a little bit different than what other schools are willing and open to doing, such as paying for guys to visit and all of that. Doesn't seem like CU is going to be doing that. But I do wonder because Dizza brings up a really interesting point here. Kind of a criticism to Charles Kelly in a sense of, do you think it was more too complicated to an extent? I think that's totally fair when I've never seen so many players, screw up substitutions. I mean, I've never seen so many 12-man penalties in one season in my lifetime. I think that's very true. I think we also had a bunch of transfers probably come in here that a little bit over their head with this NFL type of program that I think we're leading to, and hopefully with the defense. Honestly, Rawhide is Is simplifying it part of that? Because I feel like the most dominant defenses in the NFL, when you're talking about defenses that go down in the record books, the history books, most recently, I think about my 2015 Broncos, the 2013 Seattle Seahawks, the 2000s Ravens, all of those defenses were extremely dominant. Steelers, so many of those Steelers teams, I don't feel like they did anything too complex or too crazy. They just had really good players that did their job and were disciplined. So maybe that's something that we might see, where a guy like Norton Jr., Dennis Thurman, or Mike Zimmer just does a better job of molding their system or their play calls towards the talent that they have. And we see more success. Thanks for sticking with me for a few minutes on that.
No, you're good. You're good.
What's your reaction to that?
Let me go back towards at the beginning when we were talking about how NFL style deal. And again, it's speculation. I think a good example of that is Kermani McLean. And when coach kept talking about him, you know what I'm saying, about, his playing, it's up to him, right? I don't know if he took the ownership on himself. Again, I'm on the outside looking in. You have to, I'm not in there. I'm just going on what I see. The perception is that it was up to him. He needed to take it upon himself, right, to satisfy those requirements. Then, but I guess my question to that is this: is that my mother told me this, that sometimes you can try to teach a student something that's above their head and they're just not mature enough to grasp what you're trying to teach.
Totally.
And sometimes colleges need it to mature the student or player before they get to the working world or to the NFL in this situation. So I guess I'm going to ask another question to you. Do you worry that you may lose some people if it is a individual responsibility type of atmosphere?
I guess I worry about that. Yeah, sure. Now I've upset some people with kind of this philosophy. It's like, I don't care about the name on the back of the jersey. I care about the results. Now, there are a couple exceptions to that. Do I care about the individual statistics Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter put up? Absolutely. Those are the exceptions. Anybody else, I just want the job done correctly. I don't care about hurting any of these players' feelings about bringing in better players in this portal cycle or having an issue of how are we going to give all these guys the ball. I don't care. We still have so many levels to go in terms of building towards the depth that some of these college football playoff contenders have right now. And I think that there are going to be guys that are cut out for this kind of more so no nonsense. It's on you. You're being paid, a little bit more of a professional mentality. Then it's not going to be everybody's field. Just like people have brought up Jim Harbaugh. I think he's a really great coach. Is he stealing signs? I don't care. I think Bill Belichick's a good coach too. But, that doesn't really bother me. But, Jim Harbaugh is another one of these cult of personality kind of guys. He does things his own way. There's going to be players and recruits, transfers that are really attracted to the way that he does things. And there's going to be people that aren't. The same thing is with CU. I think, though, with what we have going on, I'm optimistic to think that there are going to be enough guys attracted to this type of culture and atmosphere and expectation where it is going to work. And I do think, Rawhide, our coaching staff suffered last year. And honestly, it might have been something where Coach Prime realized it with the game management on both sides of the ball, how that was clearly something that was a weakness of this team, from Coach Prime to the coordinators. If we were to bring in some former NFL head coaches with at both coordinator positions, Pat Shurmur, Mike Zimmer, I think that helps. I think that helps you not make a lot of dumb game management decisions. I think you definitely get better in terms of, those sorts of situations. I think the biggest worry that I have is in terms of recruiting, but I've thought about this too. If they're just going to continue to go after the transfer portal for 75% of their recruits, is it, can Coach Prime and a few of the other guys on the staff recruit 10 high schoolers every year? Is it that big of an issue that Mike Zimmer or Pat Shurmur or whoever fills these roles don't want to travel the country throughout the year? I think it's less of an issue if you're going to be talking to transfers. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree with everything you said. Honestly, I think your response to the question, man, and great response, like you always do. And I agree with everything you said as far as when we were talking about the maturity level. You know what I mean? The only reason why I asked that is that I know some kids need a little more nurturing, but I agree with you totally. With this type of recruiting that they're doing right now, I mean, it fits. It fits with these guys that's coming out of NFL. You know what I mean? All the nonsense has been knocked off of them. You know what I mean? They're a little more of a refined piece of clay. You know what I'm saying? You can do something with them. You feel what I'm saying? So I get it. It works. It would work for those guys. And, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, it puts me at ease more about longevity wise when you think about it the way you broke it down, as far as they're going to be portal heavy for the most part. And I know it, and I think I kind of get what they're trying to do. They like this. I'm assuming, right? Again, some speculation.
Break it down.
I'm feeling they thinking this. Hey, man, look, if we can get this program to the point where we win, and we already in the mouths of everybody, right? We get to the point where everybody's winning. Colorado is going to, or the people that we got surrounding this program, it's going to recruit high school itself.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? A whole lot of effort is not going to have to be placed into that high school recruiting aspect, i.e. the Bamas, i.e. the Georgias, i.e. Ohio States, i.e. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not trying to say that they don't do that. The Bamas and Georgias don't. They do that. But that school helps recruit itself. Those schools recruit themselves. Yeah. So I think once they get to that, then that's going to kind of help make it easier for the high school to be done, and then they can kind of focus in on portals and filling holes and building it that way. They're just trying to get the machine going. They're building the machine, and then put it on easy street like your Roomba. You know what I'm saying? Just do it. It works on its own, bro. You know what I'm saying? You hit it, map your house out. You know what I'm saying? And it's vacuuming for you.
Yeah, I think so, and I think Colorado's in this unique position to kind of try this, because I don't think very often when somebody's taking over a 1-win team that has just been terrible for 20 years, that needs to be revitalized, that you're able to attract coordinators, position coaches, personnel, scouts, all that, analysts who have served so long in the NFL. This is the Prime effect. He is able to bring in guys here that have that NFL pedigree, and transfers. I think it's smart. I mean, we'll see what happens with this court case in terms of ruling if transfers can have, or if players can have more than one free transfer. But right now, I mean, it kind of makes sense of, hey, they're going after guys that already understand, you would think, that understand the expectation of what it takes to work in college football, what the study, the practice habits, the discipline, all that is. Use your free transfer, come out here, we get you for a couple of years or so, and you got guys here learning from Dennis Thurman, Mike Zimmer, Pat Shurmur, guys who know what it takes to be in the NFL, and they're going to be training you in a way, preparing you in a way that's going to make you attractive for NFL teams. Because, I mean, we got the Broncos right down the road. You got to imagine there's going to be even more NFL scouts at all these practices this next year as opposed to what we saw this past year. Still a lot, but we're going to have more and more the more talented that we get. And that there's going to, the more draft picks we get, the more wins we get, there's going to be more trust with NFL teams and the type of guys that we're preparing here. So I think that once we get these wins, once we show more draft picks, I'm not expecting us to have a lot of draft picks this year outside of maybe 2 or 3 guys throughout the whole draft this next year in April. But once 2024 happens, hey, we have a winning season. We got some guys in that are finalists for awards, hopefully the Heisman. We make a college football playoff. We have a handful of guys drafted within the first couple of days of the NFL. There's not going to be as much convincing that's needed for guys to come out here. It's really just figuring out, okay, like, do you have the agency? Do you have the self-discipline? Do you kind of have that drive to put the work in at a young age? Are you going to be here? Are you going to get here? Graduate early so that you can get here and prepare early. Because as much as we complained about what was going on with the DB rotation this year, you can't, it wouldn't have been right if Cormani is lacking behind on certain things, but then he's thrown out there week 1. The standard has to be the standard. You have to get these guys ready. And I feel like that's how Nick Saban is too. He's not going to put these guys out there that, that aren't ready or whatever. But Nick Saban now has the trust and the pedigree to do that. We're still building that here. And I think we're taking a step in the right direction. But bringing in some guys with NFL, you at least know the baseline that you're going to get. You're not going to have a total flop of a game plan. That's how I feel about it. You're not going to have a total flop of a scheme. Did Charles Kelly maybe have some more success after he dumbed down what he was trying to do on defense? Hypothetically, I think we saw the defense for the most part play a little bit better than we saw in the first half of the season. I think that's true. But I think Coach Prime, this is just me trying to make sense of his moves. He needed more professional guys in there with him.
Yeah, he does. He does, especially for how he's building this program, and clearly from his thought process, he thinks that way. He says he don't want to go to the NFL, but he's sure bringing that NFL type of thought process down to the college ranks. I think you mentioned these guys, Ken Norton Jr., Mike Zimmer, Dennis Thurman. You know what I'm saying? Chat, y'all can let us know who would you prefer. Who would you prefer, David?
I guess right now it's more so a toss-up right now between Dennis Thurman and Mike Zimmer for me. Why Rawhide? Because one of the things that we've preached that we think is good for long-term success, continuity. Dennis Thurman's already here. He's already been the defensive coordinator at Jackson State, analyst this past year, has that experience with Prime. We know that he's a culture fit. We're not going to have somebody come in here, such as the 2 guys that are off to San Diego State, and then realize after they're hired that there's a big kind of conflict, that this thing just isn't working. Not that they're bad people. It just wasn't the right working relationship. You don't have to worry about that with Dennis Thurman. I feel the same, even though he wasn't an analyst or on staff this past year, with Mike Zimmer, because of the working relationship that Coach Prime has with him. On the same point, you do have Pat Shurmur already on the staff, who served under Mike Zimmer in Minnesota as offensive coordinator. And I mean, both of these guys have a wealth of knowledge. Not only were they, I forget if Mike Zimmer played in the NFL, but Dennis Thurman played in the NFL, was a successful coach in the NFL, defensive coordinator at the NFL level. Mike Zimmer, an NFL head coach, defensive coordinator, all of this, position coach, long history. I know that to some extent, I know what I'm getting with them. The only wild card that I think is that I don't know too much about Dennis Thurman, but I do know with Mike Zimmer, he kind of has that reputation of kind of being hard to get along with, can kind of be a hard ass, so to speak, not the most, cordial guy, I guess, during his days in Minnesota, all that. Is he going to be able to relate enough to college kids for this thing to be successful? We'll just have to see. I think it helps when you have older guys coming into this program for the most part that aren't just 18, 19 years old. You will have older college players coming in here. And with that NFL mindset, hopefully you're getting guys that are already bought into the way of doing things here. I think Ken Norton Jr., from what I understand, he's a little bit younger as well. Most recently, linebackers coach at UCLA, NFL defensive coordinator as well. So you kind of know what you're getting with him in terms of, he will be competent. That's something that we don't have to worry about. I don't think. Would he do a little bit better job at relating to these players? I don't know. I'm not inside, but I think right now I would want to go with kind of the more proven, sure thing. Guys who have had longer coaching tenures, and that's either Mike Zimmer or Dennis Thurman. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, Dennis Thurman, basically a Rex Ryan, them Ryan boys. Well, they ain't boys, but they're grown men. But I call them boys because they daddy coach. That's why I mean say it, call them that way. But the Rex Ryan, Dennis Thurman's kind of off that tree. Rex Ryan, he was there during some of the Ravens' glory days as a DC, as a defensive back coach and a defensive assistant. So that's Dennis Thurman kind of cut his teeth on. I think Rex Ryan took him to the Jets too, if I remember that correctly. But I think I would prefer to have Mike Zimmer, to be honest with you. Dennis Thurman, he's 67. Zimmer, same
he's
age.
Really that old?
Yeah, he's 67, bro. And I think I think Zimmer, also his son's there. And his son in Colorado, I think his son's there also. So I think that'd be an easy transition. Honestly, Ken Norton Jr., I know I'm not really picking nobody. Ken Norton Jr. would be a decent one too. I mean, he's 57, 10 years younger, more closer to Coach Prime's age. Mm-hmm. And, his coaching resume is not that thick. You know what I'm saying? USC linebackers coach, USC assistant head coach, linebackers coach. You know what I'm saying? Linebacker coach at Seattle. He was a DC for the Raiders for 2 years, and DC.
None of those defenses he was DC over were elite either. Now they weren't as talented as some of the other teams that these guys coached. That's the thing. But yeah, didn't have as much success in my opinion.
Right. Now he was a DC at Seattle, 18 to 21, and UCLA he was a linebackers coach. But I wouldn't mind. I don't really think you could roll wrong with any three of these guys. But saying, and then Coach Prime could fool us and come out here and grab Lovie Smith. I saw somebody mention that in the chat. I don't know, but I think if I would rate them, I'd go Zimmer 1, Norton 2, Dennis Thurman 3, because I'm not even sure if Dennis Thurman even wants to coach. And the reason why I say that is, I don't know. He just when he don't come off like, man, I want to get out here and get in this grind anymore. It's like
nothing wrong with wanting to go fishing.
Yeah, bro. Look like he having a good time in what he does. You know what I'm saying? And two, even you don't see him saying a whole lot. Like they don't feature him a whole lot saying much. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, bro, I'll help y'all, whatever the case may be, but man, I'm not giving it that mess no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, somebody said, Kyle says, yes, he said he's ready to coach and he's been watching film lately. I don't know, man. These guys get to this age, you know what I'm saying, 67, and you know what I'm saying? That college football coaching is a messy business, man. And so sometimes I wonder about, do they want to do that? Ken Norton would be, because I think he wants to be a head coach. Still want to be a head coach. So
yeah, I think that would be great. And I think I lost the comment. I had it up here, but somebody commented and said, they said the DC hire was going to make waves or something along that line.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Dennis Thurman doesn't exactly do that.
No,
He's
he
already
doesn't do
on
that,
staff.
right.
So maybe it's not him. But I think Zimmer, any of these three guys I would be happy with. I'm not picky. Guys, all I want is just a little bit of competency now.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I feel like all these guys, meet that threshold. I'm just an easy guy to please. Again, I gave Coach Prime an A winning 4 games this year. You gave him an A+. Depending on what some of y'all say about Rawhide, I mean, we were pleased this year, despite what y'all might say. But Williams bringing up a great point here, saying Zimmer knows how to run that quick nickel D from Barry Switzer, the 4-3, and then the 3-4 defense from Bill Parcells. And, I haven't done too much of a deep dive on this, Rawhide, but I'm guessing that would probably be helpful in terms of just making sure that we're using our personnel, to the best of, our ability. Do you feel like we have more players to run more of a 3-4 or 4-3? What are your thoughts on that?
I think they're gonna run. I think they're gonna go with 4 down linemen.
That's what I hope.
I think that's what they're gonna play, especially because I think I asked RJ about the guy that out of LSU that they picked up, and I was like, I hope they don't try to. Yeah, I hope they don't try to flip him to try to make him something that he's not. And if that's not what they're gonna do, I really believe it's gonna be some form. Their base D is gonna be some form of 4-man front. You know what I mean? And go from there. They say they want Brian Flores. Now that would be a splash. Let me just say, they picked up Brian Flores. Hey, y'all need to go streaking because that would be a hell of a pickup. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, that'd be a hell of a pickup. But I don't know, man. I didn't question their defensive their formations. I didn't really get into that. I didn't have a big problem with that. They tape. Man, come on, let's be honest about it. They use Scotch tape to put that defense together. They got Trevor Wood playing linebacker.
Man, it was so bad.
Yeah, bro. I mean, come on. You got Trevor Wood playing linebacker. Obviously, they, saying that they were just trying to keep that stuff taped together, bro. So it's hard for me to give my man Charles Kelly a bad grade because they just didn't have the talent. They just didn't have the talent, bro.
I think he did fine. No, I don't know. I just think, well, I did want to hit on this really quick. Sorry, my ADHD. When he brought this up, when you say culture fit, as in terms Dennis Thurman, other guys, what do you mean by that? Bill O'Boyle, for instance, it was clear that man did not want to be in front of the camera. He didn't like the whole show that was going on. I kind of wonder if Sean Lewis didn't really if he took this position as OC of just kind of saying like, hey, I'm going to have to put up with the cameras and all this stuff for a little while. It's not exactly my thing, but I'm going to do it because of the opportunity that it can bring me. And I think a lot of the guys that you've seen come over with him from Jackson State, they don't have an issue with any of that in terms of the cameras, how they're going to promote the flashiness, the swagger, the style that this team's going to carry themselves with. It's not really an issue. I think also, and again, this blows my mind why there seemed to be such conflict, but whatever was going on, there was not an alignment when it came to how the offense should run and the head coach, the quarterback, all that. I don't think Coach Prime, Sean Lewis, and Shedeur Sanders, I don't think they're all on the same page with offensive philosophy, any of that. That's just how I was reading it. And they brought in and elevated Pat Shurmur because they trusted him. You at least have that alignment with like, hey, we're all going to work on the same page. We're all going to buy in together. And that's important. So having somebody like Dennis Thurman, if he were to be re-elevated to a DC position under Coach Prime, I think that's something you don't have to worry about. I also don't think it's something that with Mike Zimmer, that's something that you got to worry about because, again, he's worked with Coach Prime or has a working relationship with Prime for so long. That's not something I worry about. I don't really have an issue with Coach Prime, quote unquote, hiring friends or hiring connections. Again,
they all do that.
The two guys that he hired that he had no previous relationship with at all the past 2 years or the past year, both of them are in San Diego now. You know, I don't know. That's how I feel about it, man. Get guys that buy into how you want to do things here.
Right. Yeah, we talk about that a whole lot about a cultural fit. Because let's just be honest about it. A lot of these coaches out here, they have been doing it the traditional way, and the way Coach Prime kind of run his program. You know what I'm saying? I can see how that can put off. That can put off a few people, right? Not. It's not bad, right? It's just they just when they was growing up and they're get to the position where they are in life as from a coach's standpoint, they're not used to it. They're not used to that. So when you go grab somebody, you know what I mean? That's no, I don't even think it was that. I don't even think it was that. I don't think it was that. I just you know what I'm saying? Because it ain't even got to be him. It could have been a brother. Let's go say, you know what I'm saying? It could be somebody off of that Bill Belichick tree, right? And let's just say they didn't went up through the ranks, the Bill Belichick, the Nick Saban type of deal. Then all of a sudden, Coach Prime giving them opportunity. Bro, you're gonna be like, this ain't how we do it. Which ain't nothing wrong with that. That's just you don't really get down like that. You see what I'm saying? They more of a structured, strict, you know what I mean? Don't show nothing, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it.
Yeah. And maybe you can help me out with this one, Rawhide. Stretch it out. Good to see you, by the way. Saying, I see you're paying attention to my takes. What take are you talking about specifically? Inform me, please. I want to know. But at the end of the day, with all this Rawhide, I mean, we can debate who's a culture fit, yada, yada, who's the best for this DC or offensive coordinator position. Just at the end of the day, winning is going to help this program the most. And I think kind of how I'm making sense of the moves or the rumors of these staff moves is that get some NFL guys there. You're at least going to have some more competency, and it's going to increase your chances of winning this next year. And then we'll see what happens.
Facts. That's Facts on that. Oh, hey, I will say this though. I still don't like Pat Shurmur as an OC.
Despite what people say, and you got to know this, guys, Pat Shurmur doesn't like to run the ball much either. I mean, let's just go ahead and get this out there, man. I mean, the only times that I can remember that he ran the ball a lot was when he didn't have it at quarterback, man. When he was running, Daniel Jones and Case Keenum out there. Whenever he's had somebody with at least some decent amount of arm talent, man, he's airing that thing out, man. I think Teddy Bridgewater was one of the leading passers in air yardage during his year with Pat Shurmur with the Broncos. So don't think that this is going to be a team that's running it 40% of the time. I'm not thinking it. This is still, if Pat Shurmur's still there as OC, the path to success, and it makes sense to me, is putting the ball in the hands of your best player, and that's still Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I hope he can do it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what does Pat Shurmur tell a recruit that comes in to talk to him? A man so dry. He'll put the damn recruit to sleep. He's always been that way, though. That man has no energy. I think he's a genius, honestly, because he's so damn quiet. He don't say nothing. Hey, you know what I'm saying? That's the Rain Man. I don't know what he's doing, bro. Pat Shurmur, man. That man has no emotions, bro. No emotion.
How do you sell a recruit with Pat? It's just, hey, again, I sound like a broken record here, but we're not going to have a 10 play Remember the Titans playbook, or it's not going to, despite what, or let me start over, or what some of y'all said about Sean Lewis once week 4 hit. It's not just going to be option route city every play. You're going to be schemed. You're going to have a real playbook. There's going to be a level of competency. Now, could we have a better offensive mind, call a better game? Probably, but at least it's not going to be disastrous. That's how I feel about it, man. It's not going to be disastrous. There's still a couple of pieces that I think we're missing in terms of personnel in order to give Pat Shurmur kind of the full cabinet of options. I still feel like we need another couple pro style tight ends in there. Yeah, but I think the biggest thing that's going to sell this program is just winning. And guys can come here knowing, hey, we're going to get coached from some guys that will prepare me for the NFL, all of that. But I think having a conversation when you're a 21-year-old transfer, it's going to go a little bit better with somebody like Pat Shurmur, or it's going to go better for Pat Shurmur with like a 21-year-old transfer for the most part, rather than, him trying to text and call a bunch of 18-year-old, 17-year-old kids saying, come to see you, I think this lines up with kind of his strengths as well, where he just wants to scheme. He wants to game plan. And I'm hoping, Rawhide, that yes, at the NFL level, you have to be a good game planner, a good scripter. Sean Lewis reportedly hated scripting. We kind of saw that, throughout the year. He's going to be able to script. He's going to be able to scheme to a level that, isn't going to allow, hopefully, him to be exposed as some sort of fraud, because I don't think he's a fraud. He's proven it at the NFL level to some degree. Has he coached and play called a bunch of elite offenses? No. It probably goes all the way back to Donovan McNabb until the time that Pat Shurmur did that. But he's at least done it at the NFL level. I think there's potential for somebody like Pat Shurmur or Mike Zimmer, whoever, to out scheme a handful of these college coaches. Am I just thinking a little bit too naively about the college game? What are your thoughts on their ability to out coach some other coaches in the Big 12?
Yeah, I think they're.
Give it to me, Rawhide. Come on, tell me why I'm wrong.
I think they will be competent. I don't know about out coaching anybody, but I think they'll be competent. Yeah, let me just leave it right there. I think they'll be competent. You feel me? I don't know about that out coaching anybody. I mean, you have some good games. You have some bad games. I mean, I hate to do a comparison with them not seeing them do it in college, but yeah, like I said, I think they'll be competent. You mentioned something about personnel. I'm sorry, I don't mean to change the subject, but I think I saw it on that DNVR show. Did you see that big dude from Louisiana, Hurd? He's offensive tackle 300 and
former 5-star, right?
Yeah. Did you see that? Him hit the portal?
Let's bring him in. We need more linemen, man. I'm still not feeling it.
Yeah, I think they need one more tackle, bro. Now, granted, he didn't play. It'd take Jonas to talk about him, but or any other LSU fan, you know what I'm saying? I don't think he played, but he came out, right? He was 16th nationally. So, number 3 offensive tackle. You know what I'm saying? That would be somebody that I think could help solidify that offensive line now. Granted, we don't know. Granted, he didn't play, but I'd like to see. I think that's because you mentioned personally. That's the only reason I brought him up. I'm sorry, I'll bring it right back. But bro, I don't know about out coaching because college is a little bit different, and so I just think there will be a level of competence. Not saying that Sean Lewis wasn't confident, because I know y'all don't like this. I like Sean Lewis. I don't blame Sean Lewis. I don't blame any of that. I think he did a good job.
Well, I just partially blame him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, trust me. You're more a bull. Can't stand a bull.
Yeah, he gets the majority of the blame. Yeah,
no doubt. There you go. So I was a Sean Lewis fan. But yeah, I think they'll be a little more confident. I think the conversations, or I think the coaching staff will be more on the same page next season, which I also believe is going to be easier to be on the same page because I think they're all going to be walking in the same direction, trying to achieve the same thing.
No doubt. No doubt. I think you will have just a less of a circus because you just got more competent coaching. That's how I feel about it. Now, I did want to say, guys, y'all calling for more moderators. I'm sorry. I'll add some more of y'all after this. I can't add you guys within StreamYard, but I'll add some more. All I ask is that if some trolls are just getting too annoying, just put them in timeout. This is still a friendly place. But, you know, unless they're swearing a whole bunch, saying super offensive stuff, just don't ban people, okay? That's all I'm going to ask from my moderators, man. Kind of, you know, we can be one nice dysfunctional family here. Now, I did see this comment here, and this kind of cracked me up a little bit. Another one from William Barry. Rawhide, let's talk about this. Speaking of CU coaches, I hope we don't lose Coach Flea and Coach Hart to FAMU, man. What are your thoughts on that? If they were to go, yeah.
Well, I can tell you this. There's a whole lot of people that do not mind losing Coach Harrell. Okay, I just let me just put that out there. As you can see, the chat already talking about good riddance and Hart. So let me just tell you right now, Will, you shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that. Now, me personally, again, I don't. Oh my God, they can't stand. They can't stand Harold and Hart. I don't know, bro. The fans hate these guys. I don't even know why. But I'm on William Barry's side here. I want them to stay. I want them to stay. You know what I'm saying? I want them to stay, bro. I do. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they said take Mathis with them, bro. They want to get rid of that guy. they hate, bro. The fan base does not like anybody, bro. They don't like anybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? So no, I agree with Barry. I do want them to stay too.
Well, this is what I'll say, Rawhide. You know,
here we go.
Mathis, Flea, and Hart, man. These guys get one more year, man. You know, with David Talks Bucks, these guys get one more year. And we went through maybe after the Washington State game. Remember when we went through and we just went through which coaches should stay, which one should go, which one should be given another year. All three of those guys were, I'm willing for continuity reasons. Let's give them another season. But I mean, if it's still the same story at linebacker where none of these guys can get right, none of these guys can learn the playbook, none of these guys are ready to get on the field, and we just got to move Trevor Woods back to linebacker. I mean, Coach Hart's got to go, man. We're bringing in more linebackers, man. To me, I don't care what was going on in that room last year. It's inexcusable where you have to move a safety over. I don't care if Trevor knows the plays more than everybody else. He was a huge liability in the run game. You could have argued outside of our terrible field quality at the end, which led to Mata's missing the field goal, that Trevor Woods was the reason we lost that game because they were just running at his side the whole game.
Oh, you were wrong, Dave. You were wrong for that. Dave, I told you got to stay on the good side. Don't go to the bad side. Don't go to the dark side.
Corrupted, man.
Oh,
I mean, that's just it. But, you know, those guys, if they were to leave for FAMU, good for them, man. It's kind of like how I felt about Charles Kelly, man. I'm just never going to stress Coach Prime finding other coaches, man, to fill these guys' positions, man.
Oh, okay.
Especially. Okay, now, this is going to get real toxic right now.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Because I'm just going to give it to you, Rawhide. If we can sell them on this, my telling Coach Mathis and Coach Hart to pack their bags for FAMU if we can bring in Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. I don't care if they haven't coached.
God, not the Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. Not the Ray Lewis and Ed Reed.
I'm saying,
Oh
why
my
not, man?
God.
We already got 2 gold jackets, man. Why not make it 4? I mean, how bad could it go, right? How bad could it go?
It probably could go pretty bad.
Could it go bad?
It probably could go pretty bad. I mean, you gonna have hold on. So you saying you would like to have Coach Prime, hold on, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and Warren Sapp. Let me tell you something. Ain't damn one of them moving off how they feel about something. Bro, no compromising would happen at all. That would be an argument all the time. Bro, no, no.
I mean, could Ray Lewis get our linebackers to learn their responsibilities? I mean,
yeah,
maybe
he
I'm
can do
just
that.
playing devil's advocate because that wasn't happening with, the quote unquote unofficial chaplain coaching the linebackers this year. And I love him, man. But I just don't know what was going on, man. Everybody in Coach Mathis, Coach Hart, Coach Flea, these guys are all on. They get one more year. They get one more year with me. But if it's the same thing this year with the running back rotation, and we're still only running the ball 10 times a game with the running backs rawhide, I'm gonna say, man, Coach Flea is an annoying Pat Shurmur, Coach Prime, and those guys enough to get the ball into his guys' hands. That's my biggest thing with Coach Flea. I don't know what was going on, but when you were running the as small of an amount as we were this past year with as bad as an offensive line, you weren't bitching enough as a running backs coach.
Oh my God! So you blame me because he went to play this?
I'm just saying he wasn't the solution. He wasn't part of the solution.
Oh my God! Hey, so basically, you saying you blame the offensive lineman for the Detroit Lions not to grab the ref by the shoulder and say, "Hey, man, I'm reporting." So that
yes, bro, you were in the opposing stadium. You should have spoke louder, man. Got closer.
Oh my God! Yeah, oh my God! Dang. So you want Coach Flea to go shake Sean Lewis and say,
"Hell yeah!"
Oh my God!
Can't you see we're getting our quarterback motherfucking killed?
Oh my God! Oh
now again,
God.
I'm just a professional keyboard coach. I'm just a professional YouTube
God.
coach. I've never been on a coaching staff in my life, but I can tell you, man, with how few touches our running backs were getting, our running backs coach was not bitching enough for his guys.
Oh my. Man, you crazy, Dave. You crazy, Dave. I can't look. You crazy, man. Hey, I get it, but it's hard for me to blame Coach Flea on that. Just like it's the referee fault that he missed that reporting.
Nah, dude. Referees, it's not the referee's fault. I mean, it's part of his fault, but I'm saying, dude, get up there, yell in that guy's face, say, "I'm reporting, man."
Okay. Coach Flea, get into Sean Lewis' face, say, "Run the damn ball." What about Coach Prime? He can't get in Coach Prime's face and tell him to run the ball?
He should have done that. And Coach Prime needs to have people on his staff that are going to give him the business and tell him the truth. You know who's telling the truth? Ed Reed and Ray Lewis.
You said Coach Prime needs somebody to give the business. Say give the business. Oh my God, Dave, you losing it, Dave. You losing it, Dave. You say they ain't got enough. Yeah, you say they ain't got enough people with enough hair on their chest to let them know you messing up.
Yeah, man. We need somebody that's gonna say, "Coach Prime, man, you know this is batshit crazy. Your son has been hit 56 times, man. We got to give the running. We got to give. We can't have Dylan out there. Well, and this is the other thing. I'm blaming Coach Flea for part of this. You should be shaking Sean Lewis's shoulders, saying, "Please, for the love of God, get Dylan Edwards out of these pass protecting situations, man. We got Cavassier Smoke with an NFL body just right in the bench, man. Again, I'm not giving the majority of the blame to Coach Flea, but I'm saying, should he have 25% of it?
Y'all just too cutthroat. Y'all too cutthroat, man. Y'all too cutthroat. Oh no, man. I ain't got no problem with Coach Flea. I think it's funny though. I think it's funny how you described that. Could he? We don't even know if he didn't do that.
I know this is all hypothetical. This is all me bullshitting, guys. I just want to say, I'm not going based off of any information here. This is just all hypothetical speaking. I mean, when when things aren't working at work, when I worked in the coffee business, okay, say the coffee's coming out not tasting so good, you're gonna put part of it on the machine that needs to be calibrated a little bit more. And then you're gonna wonder, is the barista, is the technician, are they fine-tuning this thing correctly? All I'm saying is that Coach Flea, man, he was right there grinding the coffee. Dial that motherfucker in. Get that
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you, man. Don't worry. I'm right there with you, man. But hey, you don't want all them soldiers on your team. Hey, look, that they ain't gonna get nothing done. They gonna be arguing all the time. They gonna be arguing all the time, man. No, man. No, you don't need that.
That's my case, man. Bring in Ed Reed and Ray Lewis. They might hold a little bit more clap. Now, I'm not saying Coach Flea didn't do that, but I'm saying it's very clear from the results that nobody was listening to him.
You're right about that now. You are right about that. You are right about that. Nah, there is no denying that one, Dave. Dave, one day, bro. That was a one-dimensional team if I ever seen one.
But yeah, I mean, I rightfully so got thrashed by you guys for saying, hey, we have Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, Coach Prime, all those guys on the same staff. Is that just a nuclear bomb waiting to go off? Maybe. But can you?
No, we don't want to see that.
We will be entertained.
Yes, you will be entertained. Yes, you will be entertained, but we don't want that. We don't want
That's
that.
what half of this thing is, man.
Yeah,
that's what half of this thing is, man.
Yeah, it is. Hey, if not more. But we don't want to see that, man. I don't even want to see that. I don't want to see that. Oh. Dang.
I'm on one, guys. I'm on one. This was my first day back at work. I mean, I'm just in the loony bin, I guess. But but let's talk about this, Rawhide. This is the big elephant in the room that freaking nobody's been talking about, including myself. Some of y'all brought it up on the chat, and I guess this could maybe be our last topic of conversation, and maybe then I'll go make some spaghetti. All right. Special teams coach. We just running that back right now. Nah.
Bro.
We might just be running it back with Jace as the kickoff specialist too.
Bro. I hadn't seen a kicker offer. Not saying they hadn't done it. Second, can you, Coach Prime, and granted he's doing it for himself, I will give major kudos if he actually hired a special teams coach. Bro, are you gonna go into next season with Trevor Riley as the special teams guy? Oh, I said,
why can't we hire a guy with NFL experience in that phase of the game?
Bro, why they just can't hire Felix' dad? Hire him.
No,
all he doing is talking on TV. Ain't he?
I don't want no kicker daddy ball. I'm fine with the quarterback daddy ball. I don't want no daddy ball with clearly the worst kicker out of the two. Y'all say I hate Mata, but I'm riding with Mata, man.
Oh my God.
Do
Yeah.
you want daddy ball with the kicker? I
Oh my
don't.
God.
I don't want that thing going off onto the sideline.
Bro, I don't. Hey, he plays so bad. I think his own father would sit him down. Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah, yeah, bro. Yeah, I believe that. So, look, man. Can we get a special teams coach? Can we get a legit special teams coach?
That's all I want, man.
I don't even think that's asking for a lot.
No, I've been asking the football gods.
Yeah,
I've been faithful. We've been faithful. We've been giving Coach Prime good grades. Can you just? I don't even need a panel interview with all of our other fellas, man. Just hire a special teams guy with NFL experience.
I know, man. Just go get one. You know, bro. Special teams is important. I think everybody has noticed how important special teams is. You know what I mean? And
sorry for covering up your face. It's kind of funny.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think most people paid attention to special teams until this season.
No, man. And some people saying special teams weren't bad. Come on, man. I mean, what happened to Jason Neely? I actually like that, man, because, well, no, I'm not going to get myself in trouble here. I'm not going to make that joke. But, you know, he was good, and then he just started kicking it out of bounds. He started kicking it in the guys' backs and, you know, just kind of started kicking it everywhere. I mean, his onsides were terrible, kicking it in the dirt. Again, I'll look it up to confirm it, but when we were talking on the phone just a couple weeks ago, Rawhide, you know how many kickbacks or touchbacks Jace Feely had at altitude?
How many?
It's like around 50%. Inexcusable. I'm not talking about on the year. I'm talking about just at our home games, man. We got to be kicking way more touchbacks than that.
Yeah. It should be easy. That should be, you know, easy in Colorado. But, man, they just could not do it. And I did not understand why. And I still don't understand. I'm still got a question. I don't want to go backwards, but I still question why didn't Mata kick that onside kick?
Again,
why didn't he do that?
If you're not going to hire anybody with NFL experience, hire you and me. We've watched a ton of NFL games. I mean, we know who can kick the better onside kick between the two. We know it's the man from Honduras.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. I was like, when you need precision, that's where you should have had. You should have had Mata kick it.
Yeah.
Bro, anyway, I'm sorry. I don't mean to harp on that. I didn't understand that one at all. You know, and I think on the other show I mentioned, through text, Nick Saban, he didn't take the ball first.
And that's why we need, because again, guys, and Coach Prime has owned this. There were things that he said in an interview with our guy, Big Dog Chico and Colin, all that I need to get better at the game management. I think he's learned the overtime rules, okay? Mm-hmm. But all I'm saying is if Mike Zimmer, Dennis Thurman, or Pat Shurmur are on that sideline, you don't think that they're piping up saying, Coach Prime, you better make sure you do this. I just think, man.
Yeah.
I just think even as Sean Lewis was saying that, it's clear if he did say that, there wasn't the voice, man. That he didn't have the voice, just like Coach Flea. If he was saying that about the running backs, well, clearly, man, nobody was listening to him. So maybe we just need somebody that's going to have a voice in there with some of this game management stuff that Coach Prime's going to listen to. That's how I feel about it. So get those NFL coordinators here. But yeah, Nick Saban, man, he knew exactly what he was doing. What'd you think of that at the end of that play, man, with Jalen Milroe, Alabama?
What was that, Dave?
Dude, that center was fast, man. They were better off with any of our guys snapping the ball.
Bro, he's been doing that in the back. He's been doing that all season.
Dude, sorry, TB, man. I just need to say that, man. I'm sure he was in his feelings yesterday. But what kind of dumb play call was that, man?
I don't know. I just do not. I do not understand that play call at the end of the game. I, I just, I didn't understand that at all, bro. It didn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And then,
It's fair. Tommy Reese.
hey, no, bro. No, he lost his mind on that. If he was gonna run him, he should have, you know what I'm saying, did an RPO, a run pass option, right?
Yes.
Get a dude an opportunity. But that was just so dry. And it was from 3 yards. I'm like, what the? I don't know, man. But
Yeah.
Jalen Milroy, you know what I'm saying, he is what he is. If he had you know what I'm saying, if he hadn't fumbled that ball, maybe they probably would have won the game. But,
Oh,
bro, you can't fumble in that situation, man. But guess what? He's been doing that all season, too. He did clean it up a little bit, but, bro, he did the same thing last year, too, fumbling the ball, man. He likes to fumble the ball, but uh, it is what it is. So what do you think? What do you think about the finals now?
well, one, I mean, let's just say, thank God Florida State wasn't in any of these games, right? I mean, just the committee got this thing right. I mean, I guess you could argue for Georgia getting in over Alabama, but they didn't even win their own conference. So it was right. Both games went down essentially to the last play of the game. Uh, that's awesome. You can't ask for more competitive games than that. So, from an entertainment standpoint, pretty entertained, very happy. Do I wish there was more scoring in the first game with Michigan, Alabama? Sure. But these games were awesome. I wish Alabama, again, um, Michigan overcame a lot, especially with their special teams stinking it up, just like CU's were at points this year. The fact that they were able to overcome that, JJ McCarthy made that one mistake at the beginning of the game that was overturned. It's a game of inches. Outside of that, played very clean. 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And that defense, man, that defense gave hell to the Alabama offensive line. I think if they knock off Washington, it's going to be because Michael Penix does not give a clean pocket. And transitioning over to that game, Washington's offensive line surprised me with how well they were able to protect Michael Penix. His deep ball accuracy was just unreal yesterday, and really that was the difference, is that he was given enough time to really pick apart that questionable secondary with the Longhorns. And man, I can't wait. Really, any of these 4 teams in the playoff, I was going to be totally happy with winning. So whether it's Michigan or Washington, I'm going to be thrilled for either fan base. Great storylines for both teams, but I want to see Washington win it. That's why I picked them. My picks don't come unbiased, you know. I like Michael Penix. I want the Pac-12 to win before the conference blows up to oblivion. And you know, overall, great way to end the 4-team college football playoff. And I can't wait for the 12 team. It's going to be great. Hopefully, we get some more games like that. But yeah, Rahad, what do you think of the games? Who do you have winning the game next week?
Well, I was dead wrong all the way around. I had Alabama versus Texas, and I was dead wrong. But I guess I got. Oh my God! I guess I got Michigan winning. To watch the game was a good game. I was thoroughly surprised by Washington being able to hold up. I was surprised by that against Texas. It's going to be good to see how they do against Michigan. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if Michigan going to be able to generate that. If they do, if they're able to generate the type of pressure they do against Alabama, I think Michigan wins fairly easy. But
they were able to play pretty straight up against Alabama because they're like, we're going to make Jalen Milroe throw these outs. We're going to make him throw these NFL throws. And you see that his accuracy just wasn't there on some of these things. With Michael Penix, man, you won't be able to play him exactly the same way.
Yeah. And, you know, Jalen Milroe, some of his decision making, I question it, you know what I mean? But outside of that, yeah, I got Michigan. I think I got Michigan. Michigan impressed me because they didn't even play a clean game.
No.
And I felt that they were in control the entire game. You know what I mean? And they didn't even play clean. So even when Alabama was up, I didn't feel confident about Alabama being up. You know what I mean? So, but I just or tied. I never felt confident in Alabama, Michigan. They control that game. The better team won that game, and the better team won against Texas too.
Yeah,
Washington's a better
yeah,
team.
yeah. Texas, man. I think Quinn Ewers just had, around like a 50% completion percentage. I think JJ McCarthy, who kind of had a suspect game last year in the college football playoff, he definitely looked more composed, past those first couple plays or so. And maybe next year, if Texas is able to get back, you see Quinn Ewers take a jump. But I mean, he was clearly outplayed by Michael Penix. And I mean, Texas, they shot themselves in the foot. They weren't composed. They had some really terribly timed drops, fumbles, turnovers. They weren't ready for the moment. And I mean, even with some of the coverage that they played, man, Penix was just fitting into such tight windows. I mean, the wide receivers, I mean, they just had to put their hands up, and the ball was just right. I was very impressed, and great year for college football, man. I think so. We had a lot to debate about, a lot of entertainment, a lot of parody. I'm hoping Jim Harbaugh stays at Michigan.
Do you think he's going to stay?
I think he should. Maybe he gets tired of like all this recruiting stuff, but maybe with the transfer portal, he can kind of reinvent himself or in their strategy a little bit if this transfer portal stuff shows to work more successfully and not just be out there doing all this recruiting, buying cheeseburgers during prohibited times. And, the sign stealing stuff, I don't really care about that. All teams do it. All teams find an advantage. If I'm paying guys on the side to make me trades in my fantasy football leagues, I mean, these guys are doing everything possible to win. So I don't really have a huge issue with that. But I just wonder, I think Jim Harbaugh is more a college coach than he is an NFL coach, man. I just see that. And maybe he just wants to get back to the NFL because I don't know, because his brother beat him in the Super Bowl. Is that really what it is? But I feel like he's a really good college coach, and he can be the man there in Michigan as long as he wants to be. He's just kind of a weird guy, so media heads aren't going to like him and whatnot.
Yeah, he is a weird guy.
Yeah.
He is that.
He's an odd guy, man. But I hope he stays, and Connor Stallions, man, he just got a little sloppy, and that's just how it is. But I'll tell you, Mata, man, he's hit those PEDs this offseason, baby, because we need you kicking if he wants to go to the NFL, man, come on. Like, dude. He's got the accuracy, man. He just
if Mata can get down from 260 to about 200, bro, he'd be all right, bro. He'll be all right.
Well, thank God we got some quarterbacks taller than him now, right?
Oh, hey, there you go. Shots and stop.
Yeah, man. Oh. Now I did want to say, Rawhide, we can finally run the tush push package with that Vanderbilt guy, Walter Taylor, out here now, right? Tush push. Will we see it as part of the Pat Shurmur playbook this next year? Will we see it?
No.
You don't think we'll see it?
No.
Bring Walter Taylor in for it, man.
Hey, look here, man. Hey, I don't think you're taking Shedeur off the field.
Yeah. See, we just get our takes from Stretch It Out. That's true. You got it right. Well, Rawhide, I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks so much for hopping on.
Man, no, I appreciate you having me, bro. Appreciate you. Man, I missed it, bro. We ain't did one in a minute.
I know, man. Hopefully we get some hires to finally talk about uncertainty soon and hopefully some more transfers. But I'm sure we'll be talking again soon. For all my viewers, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe for Rawhide Media for you. His channel's a rocket ship, and you got to check out the barbershop. Been a few days since I've checked out the barbershop. So will you have one going later tonight?
I might, man. If I can, I don't know, man. I'm kind of dizzy today for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Dude, that's okay.
Maybe
Man.
it was that candy I ate last night, but I don't know. Look at Dave. Look at Dave. Look at Dave. Look at Dave. Oh my goodness.
I'm not gonna say anything to implicate you, man. But hey, only do this stuff if it's fun. But
right.
But hey, also, man, have you been still checking out TB's channel? I'm glad he's been on
all the time, bro. Yeah, man. Y'all need to check out TB's channel. He's funny, bro. I like it. You know what I'm saying? I like it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, guys, I'm gonna shut this down. Thanks for putting up with me for an hour and 15 minutes, and thanks for being kind to Rawhide. Thanks, again for joining me. I will be back with a show tomorrow, and then I think I'm gonna have Chubby on Thursday, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. Until next time, guys, hit that like and Sco Buffs.
Sco Buff.